Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On today's video, we're going to try to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to work on a project that we need for the pigs. I want to build a mobile trough that I can move them, since we're doing daily feeding, move around so it's not in one singular spot. And we want to try to use up some of this oil and gas pipe that we have laying around. You can see this big behemoth here, this one behind it. Now these are all bent up because about 2 years ago, when I was doing all the clearing and making the ground flat over by the barn, I had a backhoe in and we dug some of this pipe out and of course bent it up a bit. So it's really heavy. It's still has some oil in it in some places. These pieces don't because they're severed. But we're going to cut some pieces up and use them for our project and hopefully clean up in the process. So come check out what we got going on. All right, so we're far away from having any electricity here. Only electricity we have is electric fence. Obviously that won't work. So I am blessed to have two really cool parents. Both of my parents are still alive, which is awesome. To be 47 and still have two parents that pour into your life. And here is a really neat gift I got for Christmas. Mom and Dad got me a whisper quiet generator, and so it's small enough it can fit back into the side by side. I can take it wherever. I'm not having to lug up one of my big 5,000 watt or my 7,500 watt. So this guy is a little, he's a 2,000 watt, and it's an inverter, so we can use this up at camp. Very cool. But not trying to sell the generator, just showing you what we've got. So that's going to allow me to drive anywhere on the property and be able to have power to cut up this pipe. I've got my trusty Sawzall, and it got a really killer, well, I've already scratched the brand off of it. I was thinking it was Milwaukee. These really nice, super thick carbide teeth construction blades or metal cutting blades. And you can see where Liam and I were already cutting some of this pipe up earlier. I found this to be the best way to cut through that pipe versus a grinding wheel or anything. Let us spark too, just in case there's still some drip in there. But we're going to use that and cut up some of this to the length that we need, and then the scrap we're just going to get out of the creek and have that we can maybe take for recycle if it's too bent up to use. So what's the plan on this mobile trough? Well, I was going to do like the Beyond Science guy and try to draw it out here in this negative space. I'm not that good. So I'll just show you what it looks like here. Game plan, of course, is just a very crude, very rudimentary trailer, if you will. Just something that I can pick up, hitch to the back of the side-by-side quick, drive to another spot. So just two small non-pneumatic tires. The reason why I'm using the pipe, of course, is I've got plenty of it, and it should provide a lot of weight. Because the problem with any wooden troughs that I've built in the past, the pigs just flip them over the hill. And instead of taking something and anchoring it down, I want to be able to move it, but yet still be agile enough that, or not be a full 2-ton feeder, something that I have to put a lot of feed in. I want to be able to move it whenever I want, not have to wait for it to be empty. I'm doing daily rations with the pigs. So literally a trough that I can come slop them in the morning, they can eat it, and then maybe a couple days, a week, however long before they start to wear that spot out, and move it to another location. So the pipe will be the frame, it'll be the tongue, it'll make up everything except the, we're going to do some supports, because we obviously want to do like a V-shaped trough. So we'll do some supports at an angle, and then we'll just use some of our boards, our 1-inch pine that we've milled, and we'll use that to actually line the trough and put the caps on it. So it'll be a wooden trough supported with metal, hopefully be heavy enough that the pigs won't flip it over easily, but still light enough I can pick it up and hitch it up and not be an issue driving around. So we'll see what we get into.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, well, clearly a welder I'm not. To say this looks like a herd of goats is offensive to goats, I believe. We'll see how it holds up. The beauty of it is, it's super heavy, so they're not going to flip it over the hill. And I think it'll tow all right. Again, I'm not going on the road. See how well those tires hold up. Those are non-pneumatic. Those are solid tires. I'm not sure if the axle is going to work. I made it extra wide so it wouldn't get in the way of my trough walls there. So we'll see how it shakes out. Alrighty, there we go. I'm going to call that finished. As you may have seen in the time lapse, you just cut the bottoms, put a runner on the bottom just to keep the feed from collecting too much in the crack, and little 45 ends. This is all pine from the mill. Carriage bolts to hold it to my angle iron there. That's what's keeping it attached to the frame. And we'll see. The plan will be, as I roll it to the location I'm going to use it, I'm going to pull the wheels off of it, because those little 5/8 inch solid rod axles, you know, they're going to bend out, especially if lard butt gets up in here. Multiple lard butts get up in here and lay on it as they will. And of course, you can see how high off the ground it is. That becomes an issue for that. So the plan is just to get it on the ground. So that'll put the receiver right in the dirt. Maybe put a piece of wood up underneath it to block it up a little bit, but the game plan is to get it right on the ground. And I didn't take my angle iron out further because I didn't want it to be something that they could step on, cut a hoof, all that type of thing. So hopefully when the wheels are pulled, that actually sits down in the dirt or the mud or the grass. Obviously it starts as grass and it will end up as mud by the time they work a way around it. So the plan is for it to literally just be off the ground, the thickness of the frame itself, or the height of the frame. Pine boards, obviously we can replace them whenever we need to. Not putting any finish on it. They will rot out eventually, of course, and that'll just be part of it. I'll just replace them, and we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, after looking at the amount of time that I put in this, it's kind of goofy, but it was fun being able to work on my welding skills. Still by no means a welder. So what a difference a day makes. Yesterday, when I was rolling this out, you could still see snow on the ground. And today I'm in short sleeves because it's almost 70 degrees. But the plan will be, I'm not going to start using this immediately. So that's why I'm not showing any video of them using it, simply because right now I'm still feeding them in the barn. And it's working out well because it keeps Merida from coming in and eating all their food. She stays on her side. They stay on there. So as we get, probably going to go another couple weeks before I start using this, feeding them out of the barn, and then we'll go up on the hill and some of the flat areas there and leave it, and probably actually move it. May use it when we move them actually out of this, what I consider our winter pasture, and get them into some new areas here since we're getting close to spring. But it's nice to have that out of the way and done, so I'm not typical fashion of working my butt off at the very last minute to get something completed. So hopefully, check mark, one in the checkbox there. Well, appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't subscribed, I know we've got a lot of new viewers here recently. If you haven't subscribed, give a subscribe if you don't mind. That way you'll see the new stuff that pops up, and give us a like if you like it. All right, take care, everybody.